So today we're going to unbox a pair of Sanderson headers for our small block Chevy, first generation. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to an episode of Restoring Christine. Bill here, Christine, our 56 Bel Air that we're restoring. We're getting really close. We're on the home stretch. Hopefully within 2 months of having her finished. And right now what I'd like to do is I'd like to do an unboxing video on a pair of headers that I got specifically for Christine to clear this Classic Performance Products CP 500 box. So let's get into it. Alright, so a couple of episodes back I refreshed my small block Chevy. That's a first generation Chevy. That's a 307 with some HO305 heads. I'll put a little link to that up there if you're interested in seeing a little bit of that background. And then what I have here is I'm converting Christine. She was manual everything, manual steering, manual brakes, manual clutch. And now I decided, you know what, I'm going to put a power steering kit in it. So way back when I did an unboxing video on the Classic Performance Products conversion kit, put a link to that up here too, and it came with this Classic Performance Products box. And one of the things that I've read online from dozens of different forums is that this clearance between here and here is pretty tight, and it doesn't fit many headers. So the dilemma is to find out which one fits. So I looked and they had a whole bunch. I mean, every bulletin board's got a bunch of different recommendations, but everybody seems to be dinking and dunking and bending to get around. So the closest that I found in a thread was somebody describing a set of Sanderson headers. And I said, well, maybe I'll try that. So I gave them a ring and it worked out. Let me show you. So Sanderson headers, proud to be made in America. So these are made in California. Actually South San Francisco, California. So I called Sanderson up for a recommendation or a part number so I could order from one of the big boxes. Maybe it would have been, I'd have ordered it from Jegs or Summit or something like that. But I wanted a recommendation specifically for first generation small block, the Classic Performance Products steering box, and you'll notice I don't have side mounts. So I don't have any adapters or any conversions on this block. I use the front mounts. So this is the set that they recommended. You'll notice this is a small block. So these are, I guess, what they consider the block hugger or the tight. But these, I'll post the part number up here. But when I talked to the technician over at Sanderson, I described to him what I was doing, and he said, "Oh, you need the old style headers." So okay, old style. So he had them in stock, and all I had to do was just send them out to have them coated. Maybe they coat them in-house, I'm not quite sure, but I wanted the ceramic coating. So I had these from California to New Orleans inside of a week from ordering. It was nothing. So they preferred that I ordered it directly from them. No problem, so I did. So let's get into unboxing them. All right, so I did open them up to see what I got. I couldn't wait. It was like a kid at Christmas, so I snuck underneath the tree, grabbed the box, opened the box, and pulled them out. Tried to wrap it, tried to fake out mom and dad. So here they are. They're super pretty. These are really, really, really nice. And it's a different shape for the passenger side and for the driver's side. So you'll notice that on the inner two cylinders, it's a very, very tight bend, and they're bringing all this into a 2.5-inch collector. So it's real tight here. These are 1.5 inch tubes. So this is actually a smaller header. So if you've got a bigger displacement block, if you got a 383 stroker, if you got a 400, this may not be what you want. But for me, I've got a little 307, and so this ought to work just fine. I'm going to be using this to go to cruise nights. I'm not bringing it to the drag strip. 1/4 mile times, 1/8 mile times. Not for me, not what I'm looking for. So it's got ceramic coating on it. You can see it's got a very, very thick flange. It looks like a 3/8 inch thick flange. It's very heavy. It's got a raised surface where the flange mates to the heads. You can see that raised surface here. It's already machined flat, and these are very true. If I put a straight edge on that, you'd see, I mean, that's like laser straight. They're not warped. And they got the Sanderson brand on it. Let's open up the other one. Now we already kind of test fit these a little bit to make sure, because we couldn't resist ourselves. Put them back in the box to do this, but here you can see the difference between the opposite side. Same thing. It's got a super tight bend on the inner two cylinders. Again, a flange, 2.5-inch flange dropping downward. So this is these are 1.5-inch tubes. The quality is just top flight. Look how it's all machined flat. I got the raised boss. So when you mount these, what I read in the Sanderson instructions, they say take a bead of silicone, and they say take an 1/8-inch bead of silicone and put it all around each one of these, and then flatten it, spread it out. And then once you do that, let it cure overnight, and then after you let it cure overnight, draw it up tight to the motor, and that's that. You let it gasket with silicone. So I'm going to end up doing that. They also recommend a particular break-in procedure, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get these on the car, just tacked up there so you can kind of see what they fit like. All right, before we get into putting them on the car, it does come with the instruction manual, and you'll notice that it says a few things here that are nice. Our products are built in the USA. 42 years of design, installation, and driving experience here. So Sanderson's been around for, I guess, 42 years. They come with, they actually sent them with the header bolts. So this is nice. One of the things I noticed is that there's they recommend a particular kind of bolt for this, so that they send them with you. So I have ceramic coated headers, and they came with what appear to be ceramic coated bolts, which is nice. And the other thing that was in the bag were the collectors. So you got the collectors that go on your, the collector flange that goes on your exhaust. And I didn't open this. Now this looks like to just be carbon steel, but it's the right size for the header, and it's actually got a little bit of a pitch to it already. So that's nice. It'll help out the header guys. That'll help out the exhaust guys that are fitting up your exhaust. And it's set up for a 2-inch diameter exhaust. Looks like the two of them may be the same, exactly the same. Let's compare them. Yep, identical, like my cousin Vinny. So these are already done up, these flanges, so you just bring these to your exhaust shop, and they'd be able, I guess, to just continue from that point beyond. There you go. So let's go ahead and get them on, and I figured out I might have indicated which one was the wrong one to go on the driver's side, but I'm going to show you where it's really obvious. So you'll notice the difference between these two. One drops down into a V, and the other one doesn't. Well, this V, that V is allowing it to get out of the way of that box. And these will slip in. Man, you don't need to take much of anything off to get them in. Let me show you. I was able to squeeze these in. You got to get them in through the front, bring them in through here, and then rotate them all the way up. I have a clutch, so Christine's a manual 4-speed, and my clutch parts are not in place, but there you go. Boom. Let's get a couple of bolts just to hold it up temporarily. You can see, that way you can see how much it clears the power steering box, the gearbox. Kind of twisted here. That one started. You'll notice I slipped this over my oil filter tube, so I didn't even bother to take that off. So this is pretty easily fit. There it is. Okay. Just snug a little bit. Plenty of clearance. Look at that. Now they do make this in 1 5/8 inches, but I didn't. It was special order. They would have had to have made them, and I didn't want to wait. So. So these are the 1.5 inches, and they're just fine for me. But look, there's plenty of room in there. Let's get in there and look. And you can see it's hugging the block, coming pretty close. So I guess when I go get my headers, you know, they're going to clear everything, but I'm going to have my clutch pieces parts are going to go in between here, and all that linkage is not too bad. So that's a really clean fit. Plenty of room. Plenty room. So let's put the passenger side on real quick. So this is going to go right on because there's nothing in the way. Nothing at all. It's got to clear the starter, but that's not asking for a whole lot. One bolt, another bolt, and I'll snug it on and show you what kind of clearance you get on this side. Get that tightened up. I was surprised it said don't use any gaskets. So just use silicone. And I'm going to take them at their word. This one I'm probably going to have to get a wrench. Yeah, let me get a wrench for that. Let's see if the ratchet wrench will make it. Oh yeah, that's nice. There you go. That is nice. Let's take a look at that. There you go. So now clearing the starter over here. Yeah, they got to get past all of the front end linkages, but that's easy. Shoot, that's where the original exhaust would have gone, so that's not a problem. Now the next step for me is to get all this front of this motor set up with all the pulleys and the compressor and the alternator, power steering pump. But there you have it. Sanderson, short style, old style headers for 56. It's gonna do it. Hope you got something out of it. If you're looking at investing in a pair of headers, I mean, so far what I'm seeing right there, 2 thumbs up. So they're not cheap. They're not cheap, but they fit and they're high quality. So that ceramic coating ought to last a long time. Headers come with the headers, the collectors, and the bolts in the box. Shipped from California. Got them inside of a week. Can't complain. So do hope you got something out of it, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're enjoying the channel, as always, I'd love a subscription. So until I see you next time, please take care of yourself. Cheers.